All right. Last night at about 7 p.m. on the Osteen Trail, about 2 miles from the Osteen Convention Center off of 415, we received a call for a female who was laying in the center of the bike path, walking path. When deputies arrived there was a body of a white female. She had been stabbed and slashed multiple times, and she was dead at the scene. We began a homicide investigation into it. Earlier this morning, we identified our victim. She's a 29-year-old Orange City resident. We are still notifying family members, so we're not going to release your name. We also discovered that she had recently leased a 2021 Volkswagen Jetta. Through technology, we were able to determine that that vehicle was on the move in Volusia County last night after we found her body and was in close proximity to the crime scene at 9:30 this morning. Using more technology, we were able to determine that that vehicle was in the 2000 block of French Avenue in Sanford. We passed that information on to the Seminole County Sheriff's Office. The Seminole County Sheriff's Office spotted that vehicle that was occupied twice. What happens from there? Sheriff Lima will be telling you that a little later on today because it is Seminole County, it is his deputies. He'll be able to tell you what happened. I can tell you that there was a shooting, and I can tell you that, thank God, the deputies were not injured. The details of what transpired, Sheriff Lima will fill you guys in here shortly. We are currently working, our detectives are currently working with Seminole County right now and trying to piece together our homicide. Clearly, our victim was not killed there. She was dumped there, and she sustained massive injuries. So this is all an active work in progress. We're still trying to identify the suspects who were in custody in Seminole. And there's just a lot that's going on right now, and it's a lot of moving parts. This is preliminarily what we have, and like I said, for what occurred in Seminole, Sheriff Lima will gladly fill you in with that, and I'll fill you in what we have here in Volusia from our victim's point of view.
I was going to ask you, Sheriff, do you think that the times two people who were in Seminole, one now in custody, I believe, and one wounded, do we believe those are the people we're looking for in connection to our homicide?
That's what we're working through. Right now, we know that her car, which she just leased 4 days ago, was hit the tag readers multiple times in Volusia County, including 9:30 this morning near the crime scene. Using other technology, we knew that that car was stationary in the 2000 block of French Avenue in Sanford. And we know that the Seminole County deputies responded, and a confrontation took place. That of all which Sheriff Lima will gladly fill you in on. So, there's a lot to go through here. We don't know who we have in custody down there yet. We're still working on that. There's a Facebook post that she had with her boyfriend in front of the car. We're not sure if it's that guy, but I can tell you that the wounds that she suffered were a deep passion inflicted those wounds. And, obviously there's a lot that's still moving. So, we're trying to decipher who we have in custody. What else are we looking for? Where did the crime actually occur? Because we don't know where the crime actually occurred yet. We just know that her body was dumped there 7 o'clock at night, very populated area. We have a couple witnesses that saw a car on the bike path and watched it roll slowly down with no headlights and then leave the bike path and head east on Maytown Road. They saw what they believed to be a trash, and as they got closer, they discovered that it was a body of a female. So they didn't put a lot of planning in the dumping the body. I mean, it was very conspicuous where it was put. When you think of that trail, a couple miles down the road, you get on that path, there's really nothing out there. There's nothing out there, especially where we border Brevard County. So.
Is there anything you know about the victim, Sheriff, at this point that any interactions you might have had with her? Nothing. And her body was dumped because she was missing clothing, and just not she appeared out of the sky. Like I said, you have a witness that sees a car on the path. Cars aren't supposed to be on that path. We have other witnesses who leave, and they're leaving at
say 6:35, they see a car on the path, think it's suspicious, but don't think anything of it because they're hustling onto an appointment. And we have somebody else who had taken a picture prior to that car being there, and 20 minutes later sees the car and the body there. So she was freshly dumped there. Again, why her car is moving around through Volusia County after her body was found, why even this morning in close proximity of the crime scene, that car's moving. Why is that car parked outside of a laundromat in Seminole County? All those are questions that we need to answer.
Do you know how old our victim is, Sheriff?
She's 29.
29,
29, Orange City resident. She has zero,
family.
nothing in her background that indicates any type of criminal activity whatsoever.
The two people being held in Seminole County, do you know anything about their background?
We just know nicknames on them. We're waiting to identify them, and detectives are speaking with one. The other one has to be identified. I don't think he's speaking right now.
Are they Volusia County residents, do you think?
We don't know.
Okay.
That is all stuff that the detectives from Seminole and from Volusia are working on. But we wanted to give you a flavor for what occurred down there, and Sheriff Lima will tell you exactly what happened when they approached the car, what went on down there, and obviously when we get more updates from our detectives, we'll put those out as they come along.
Given with the injuries, you said like deep passion to describe it, and then showing our suspects kind of circling, saying they didn't have much of a plan in place. Are investigators looking at this as they possibly know the victim versus this being a random crime?
I don't think that this isn't random. I think that you're right on target there. That there's we believe at this point in time there's connectivity there. It wasn't like she was walking down the street. We don't believe that she was abducted by any means.
Carjacked of a brand new car.
Wasn't carjacked. But what that remains to be seen.
Do you think you'll have a bad guy to attempt to interview eventually, or do you think it's
we're interviewing one person. Us in Seminole County are interviewing one person right now that was in that vehicle. It's a little difficult to interview the second person.
Does our victim have local family here that you're aware of, Sheriff?
She does. She does. I know she's an Orange City resident.
Not living with a husband or boyfriend or anything like that you're aware of?
We're still trying to pin that down. We're in the process of searching her apartment as we speak.
Do you have the vehicle in custody?
Vehicle's in custody. The two people that were in the car are in custody. So there's a lot that has to go on here because, I don't want to speculate on the vehicle, but, obviously there's a big crime scene somewhere. We just haven't found that yet.
Do you know about how many times she might have been stabbed?
We do not. We're using other scientific sources to determine DNA, stuff like that. So before an autopsy goes in, I can tell you, having been out at the scene, she slashed probably 6 times, and they're not slashes that you would cut yourself. They are deep wounds, and then she's probably stabbed another dozen times.
Are we talking over her torso, her arms, or where was she stabbed?
Torso, it's all over, from her knees to her throat. Actually, from her knees to the top of her head.
Do you know what they used to stab her?
We don't know. Again, like I said, all of these questions we're just sorting through this. Why was her car hitting in the area of the murder scene? Why was her car hitting in other places in Volusia County during the night? They're all things that we got to find out. Why is this car out there when you're dead? And I'm sure Sheriff Lima will tell you there is some evidence that he'll probably bring up on one of the suspects had a piece of evidence that ties them to her. So I'll let Sheriff Lima talk about what they found in the search of the suspects.
Thanks, Sheriff.
All right?
Thank you.
You guys are good? All right.
Thank you.